And hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast with me, your host, Robin Fafmi. This podcast is all about solar energy, specifically residential solar. Today, I am going to take my time and really attempt to put some structure to this podcast so that as we begin to build, you will have a real good idea and understanding of exactly what we're doing, what the reasoning is for even being here. You may notice me look away from time to time tonight because I do have some notes that will keep me focused and to make sure that I give you all of the information that you need to have. And again, welcome to the podcast. It's all about residential solar energy. And the purpose of our time together is education, education, education. We want to be sure that we are providing information to homeowners that will equip you with knowledge so that whenever you are thinking about going solar or you're approached about buying solar, you will have a reference to how to decipher that particular information. So we are here every Thursday from 6:30 until 7:30 p.m., except for occasionally holidays may interrupt us, or there may be some sort of emergency event. In that case, we may or may not be here. You may experience a pre-recorded podcast. You may not know that. It may not be anything that you even care to know, but as often as I can, every week we will be here because I just believe that this information is going to catch on eventually and that it is just vital, very important for homeowners to understand what's going on in the solar industry, how it affects you, and how to protect yourself. So every week we will look forward. Now, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Stay Humble, Be Humble Network, and iHeartRadio. You can find us in all four of those places. Also, you want to make sure that you come prepared to listen and maybe even take notes. And if you don't take notes, just know that you can always refer back to the podcast to gain any information that you need or want. I am your host, and I am happy to be your host, Robin Fafmi. And a little bit about myself, I am the founder and operations manager of Solar Logics EDU. Now, Solar Logics EDU is a solar energy education company and sales organization. So what that means is that we are going to be out in the communities and everywhere that we can, sharing information with the public, the masses of the homeowners. We're going to be coming to an area near you, bringing classes about solar energy so that, again, you will become more knowledgeable. Our whole aim is to make homeowners smarter so that when you choose to transition your home energy use to solar, you will be able to equalize that buying experience. Instead of the salesperson being at the table with you, telling you all about solar energy and how it's going to help reduce your electric bill and everything that you need to do to get going in solar. Now you will be equipped to ask questions and to be able to qualify that particular salesperson. So make sure that you are tuning in weekly. And please, I am asking you to share this information. Let people know that you have met me, Robin Fafmi, and that I do a podcast weekly every Thursday, 6:30 to 7:30, and it's all about solar energy. And ask people to join me because it's the only way that we are going to get the word out to help homeowners. Again, that's what it's about, helping you. Now, I can't say for sure because I don't know. I haven't listened to all of the podcasts out there. I don't know all of the people who are bringing you information, but there is very little information that is intended specifically for you, the homeowner, to become smarter about solar energy. The intent here is for you to become knowledgeable and able to interpret information about solar energy so that when you choose, and that's a key, when you choose to transition your home energy use to solar energy, you won't be taken advantage of. And believe me, more often than not, homeowners are being taken advantage of. I mean, the sales rep is there, they're telling you about solar. You perhaps know a little bit about solar, but once you sign on the dotted line, you have signed the contract with the installer, you have signed the contract with the finance company. Now, if something happens and you're unsure because you don't believe you got the best information or correct information, or maybe the salesperson was a predator and they just lied to you. And if that's the case, in most cases, you're not going to be able to go back and correct that situation for yourself. But I can promise you that the more we talk together, the more you learn about the solar industry and what solar energy, transitioning your home use to solar energy can do for you, you will be smarter and you will be able to qualify that salesperson and make a decision that is best for you instead of allowing um, the salesperson to kind of guide you into something that you really, really, really don't know enough about to make the decision. So I'm happy that you're here, and let's hang out. Let's learn about it. You can call me at 214-497-7440 while we are live here on this call, and I will answer the phone. So if you call and I answer, just know that you will be a live caller. You can also reach me at my website, solarlogicsedu.com. Now, the Logix is spelled LOGEXS. There's a little twist. Solarlogicsedu.com is the website. My email is Robin, ROBIN, at solarlogicsedu.com. So there are several ways to reach me. As I said, SolarLogix EDU is a solar energy education company and sales organization. What that means is that as we are out in the communities, meeting you wherever you are, talking and teaching about solar energy. If you really are interested and ready to make that switch, and it seems like something that would be good for you, I can also sell it to you. I can create proposals that will show you an actual system design for your home. And because we will have used your actual information related to your electricity bill, meaning we have plugged in all of the kilowatt usage for a year to get a true idea of what solar will do for you, how much money it will save you. So we'll educate you. And if you decide that you want to go solar, I'm here to help you make that transition. Okay. So we're happy that we have the opportunity to serve our communities. Now, this is really, really important because there are so many homeowners out there who have solar panels on their homes that are not working. They don't know who to call to repair them or to troubleshoot or to know what to do. If they're not working, remember, you do have what they call a installation warranty as well as a manufacturer's warranty. So those two warranties are different. The installation warranty covers the roof, where those panels have been attached to your roof, and they had to drill holes in the roof to mount, excuse me, to mount those panels. So if you get leaks or anything like that, that goes back to the installer. But if your panels actually stop producing, stop working, that's a manufacturer's warranty. And usually that warranty is 20-25 years. So if you've got a problem, your panels are not producing, then let us check it out for you. Let us troubleshoot it and see if we can get it back online for you. Or if you are still connected with your installer, you can call that person and let them know that you're having problems, and they should be able to direct you to the manufacturer or to the company that is monitoring for you. Usually, you'll have a box on the side of your home that will say Solar Edge, or it may say Enphase, or it may say NEP. Those are the companies, a few of the companies that are actually monitoring for you, and they can tell if your system is working properly, if your inverters are doing the job that they need to be doing. So you do have options, but it's important for you to know who to reach out to, because once you have those panels on, the person that sold it to you, usually they are gone. They are out of the picture unless you have a phone number, an email, or you know how to get in touch with that person. They are usually out of the picture. But the installation company, the company that they work for, the contractor, oh, there is maybe a 60% chance that they are still in business over a period of time, because solar companies, they come and they go. Um, Years ago, maybe 8-10 years ago, they would just pop up, and be gone. After they make a certain amount of money, they're gone. But things are kind of leveling out now, to the point where you can find someone. Back then, it was difficult to find anyone to detach and reattach. Say, for instance, if you needed to have a roof replaced, then before that roof can be replaced, you would have to have someone detach your solar panels and then reattach them after the roof had been repaired. And so today, in today's world, you do have options. There are companies that are popping up, showing up in the space to do those specialty type things. They don't necessarily have to be selling solar, but they are equipped to detach and reattach. So, as we're talking, feel free to write a comment, ask any questions that you may have, and I will address them now. If I get questions or comments after the show is completed, I'll bring those back next week. So, call your family and friends. Let everybody know that girl named Robin is on her show, the podcast. It's all about solar energy. Now, so hopefully you've heard something so far that piques your interest and helps you to understand a little bit better. But right now, I want to talk about um, how you are being, or how your neighborhoods are being infiltrated with people knocking on your doors to sell solar. There are a couple of scenarios. One is that a person will knock on your door. They will ask you questions about solar, and they'll want to know if you are interested in solar and if you would listen to a presentation. And then they'll say, okay, well, the salesperson or my boss or somebody will be here at a certain time that they have scheduled with you. And then they will leave and go on to the next door and the next door and the next door. And then eventually, in a very short amount of time, more than likely, that same day, the person who's actually going to sell you the solar will show up. Okay? So when that person shows up, they show up with the intention to actually sell you. Now, for you, what you need to start doing is a couple of things. When they knock on your door, please, please, please ask to see the permit. Most every city requires that door to door salespeople have a permit to solicit in the city, in the neighborhoods. They should have a permit. Sometimes it's called a solicitation permit. Sometimes it is referred to as a peddler's permit. But when they knock on your door, please ask them, do you have a permit to be in the neighborhood? Knocking on my door, asking me to buy anything or to share something with me. Okay, if they don't have a permit, what do you do? Well, what you do is you make the decision as to whether or not you want to continue speaking with them. If you do continue the conversation and they're talking to you about solar energy, now what you do is you ask to see their ID. Okay, their personal ID or their company ID. So if they're with ABC Solar, you want to see something with their company information on it. It could be an ID, it could be a business card. I mean, it could be a variety of things, but you want to see something that proves that they really work for the company. You want to see the name of the company. You want to see the address of the company. And you want to see a phone number, email, and a website listing for that company. Because as homeowners, now we have to, as I said, be smart about how we are allowing solar sales reps to deal with us. We get to deal with them in this way. So once you are sure of who they are and you want to continue the conversation, now you can do it. The next thing that I would do if I were you, I would ask for a reference, one, two, or three references. Who have you sold solar to? Have you sold any systems in my neighborhood? Okay. Can you give me the names of two to three people that actually have solar panel systems that you install? And then what you do is you truly call those people and ask them about their experience. You can allow this salesperson to go through their full presentation. That's fine because usually they're going to need to collect your electric bill, get that from you. You're either going to give them a physical hard copy of your bill, or you may pull up your information online and they can take the information that they need from from your online account, because they will have to have that information in order to calculate the kilowatt usage. That is just key, because that is really how you measure whether or not solar is good for you, by the amount of kilowatts that you're using every month, as to how much solar will save you. So you've got to have that. Now, usually they will collect that information and go away and do all of their magic work. They will use a software system to create a proposal that will actually design a system for your home based on your kilowatt usage and what's going to be good for you going forward as a solar energy customer. So when they leave you that night or that day, they are going to, or they should, make an appointment to come back. When they come back, they should come back with the actual proposal. When you sit at the kitchen table this time, they should open a laptop or a tablet or something and pull up a proposal that will usually have your name on it, and then it will start to go through all of the benefits and features of going solar. You need to see that, okay? And that will help you to understand better if it's something for you. Now, if that salesperson is in your home and they get your information and you sign on the dotted line that night, they call financing, they get your financing together, and you've done all of that in one night. What if they don't send you a copy of your contract? Now, usually when financing is involved, that finance company will probably more than likely email you your contract for the finance part of it, maybe that same night or definitely the next day. But you are supposed to have a contract from the installer in as well, the contractor, the company that is going to install the solar. You should have a contract from him too. Sometimes they will try to get away without providing you with that contract. Now, usually they are going to need to email that to you. They won't have a paper copy of that contract to leave with you right then. So you can expect an email copy of the contract from the installer as well as from the finance company. But what if you don't get a contract from the installer? Then what? Well, it's very important that you do get it, because what I am discovering is that some installers are not providing you with a contract, and they are indicating that, one, they don't have to. They're indicating that even though they did not provide you with a contract, you should have read it before you signed it. Well, how were you going to read the contract before you signed it? When you said yes to the deal, that salesperson probably pulled out a tablet or had a computer right there. And there was a DocuSign that allowed you to sign your name. That salesperson signed their name. And when you made that signature there, you were actually signing the installer's contract. Okay, but did you read it? Not every word. It's usually a responsible salesperson will go over all of the high points as it relates to what's in this contract. They will tell you that you have a warranty for the workmanship for 10 years, 20 years. Some people are even now saying 30 years. I don't know. But they'll go through those high points. What's really, really important, the real reason that this contract is so important is because what if you go to bed that night and you wake up in the morning and you decide, I don't think I want solar, okay? But you've already signed the contract. You do have 3 days to cancel that contract. So let's say today is the 18th of January. I signed the contract today on the 18th. You have 3 days after the date of signing before midnight to cancel. So that would be the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. So you would need to cancel that contract before midnight on the 21st. So inside of that contract, there is something called a 3-day right to cancel. If you do not get a copy of that contract, then how do you know that? How do you know that you have 3 days to cancel? Well, that salesperson should have verbally said that to you. And even if you did not have a contract or that salesperson didn't have an actual hard copy of the contract, he should have had a hard copy of that page. That page that would have said at the top, 3-day right or notice of right to cancel. And he should have left that with you at least, because usually when you cancel, they want you to cancel in writing. So if you don't have it, you don't have any way of knowing what the process is for canceling. And so it's quite possible that you will miss the deadline. If you miss the deadline and you don't want it, wow, now we've got a problem. Can you understand what I am presenting to you? So this is one way that we want to make sure that homeowners are aware of just these few things so that you don't get caught. You don't get caught up into making a decision, signing contracts, and getting stuck for something that you wake up tomorrow morning, decide you don't want. And believe me, I'm all for solar. I love solar. I have solar on my home. I've had it for 3 years now, and it has been wonderful for me. It's been a true bill swap, which means that my utility bill or my electricity bill usually comes in at 0. In 3 years, I've paid 5 electricity bills. And so for me, that's pretty good. And the money that I pay on my solar panels is the money that I would have been paying on my electricity bill. So it's a swap because no matter where you live, you are going to pay for electricity because electricity, it's a need, it's not a want. You have to have it. You have to have shelter. That means something over your head, a roof over your head. You've got to have water. You've got to have food, and you have to have electricity. So you're going to pay it. It's just a matter of, can I lower or reduce or eliminate my electricity bill, swap it out for solar, and now I'm paying for these panels. So eventually, you're going to be finished paying for the panels, and that's the goal. Once those panels are paid for, then you're living in high cotton, as they say, because you don't have a payment for the panels, and you more than likely will not have utility bills or electricity bills that are very high. Most often, they may come in at zero. Now, there's some other things that you will have to learn how to manage to make sure that you are getting the lowest to zero bill possible. And we'll talk about those things later. But right now, I just want you to understand, when someone knocks on your door and they're talking about solar, they want to sell you solar, they want to do a presentation. First thing you want to ask them is, do you have a permit to be in my neighborhood soliciting in this way? If they do not have a permit, and I'll tell you, most of them will not. They will not have a permit because they never expect you, the homeowner, to ask that question. They have no idea that anyone would ask them. But usually the police department is who issues these permits. So if they don't have it, then it's up to you. Do you want to continue the conversation? Okay. Next thing, ask to see their ID. This is so important. Ask to see their ID. Okay. What company are they with? You want to see something with company information. They should have a business card, or they should have a flyer, or they should have something that identifies their company's physical address, their company's phone number, website, okay? And how to get in touch with, them. You want to see that because anybody could be out here selling solar, and it could be a setup. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying you have to become smarter about who you allow to enter your home, okay? And to sell you things. If you do talk to them about solar, make sure that you don't sign anything the first night. They're in there, they're going to push you because they want you to sign, okay? But don't do it. Please don't do it. Do not sign that first night. If they are people of integrity, if the company is legitimate, if they really care about helping you to save money on your electricity bill, then they'll come back. And when they come back, they should have a proposal for you to see and show you everything. Then at that point, you can make your decision. Even after you have signed on the dotted line, they should give you a copy of your contract. If they say we have to email it to you, okay, don't give them more than one day. And 24 hours is too long. If they leave your house at 3 o'clock today, by noon tomorrow, you should have your contract because it's important. If you decide that you want to cancel, You need to know how to cancel. And there is a form, notice of right to cancel, 3-day notice of right to cancel. And that form is usually inside of your contract. Okay. So this is why you need that information. And believe me, they will be surprised when you start to ask questions about, the process, who they are. And you will learn pretty quickly if they are people of integrity, because there are so many people out here doing things that are just not right. You would be surprised at how many people sign contracts today and 3 days later, the solar is installed. Okay, now do you really believe that that company has gotten a permit to install the solar that quickly? No. So when they show up to install the solar, ask to see the permit. They don't expect for you to do that, because what do? When they are talking to you about solar and making that sale, they tell you, you don't have to do anything. We'll get all the permits, we'll get the permission from the HOA, we do everything for you. Well, I say to that, there's nothing wrong with you. You, even though you may not physically go and get the permit, you let them handle all of that. That's fine. But when they show up, make sure they got it, because solar is being installed every day without a permit. Now, that's not necessarily, how do you say? Well, it's not right, because according to city ordinances, they should have a permit. But most cities don't have enough manpower. They don't have enough people working to ride the streets every day and look to see who's installing solar. If they see someone installing solar and stop and ask to see the permit, which is supposed to be visible at the premise, and they don't see it, then they can do something right then. But if it's already up and they didn't have a permit, that just means they didn't get caught and they didn't have to pay for a permit. Or they may get the permit, but the permit may be issued a month, 2 months, 3 months, or 4 months later. So they may get the permit just for their files, but at the time of actual installation, they did not have a permit. So if you ask to see that permit on the day that they come to your home to install that solar and they don't have it, don't allow them to do it. Don't allow them to do it. Okay? This is for your own, how do you say, safety. And, you just want to make sure that you're dealing with people who are fair and honest. That's what it's really all about. So, um, solar is being presented to us in so many ways. We've got social media, Facebook, Instagram, text messages, TikTok. Maybe not as much TikTok as the others, but we are just being bombarded with ads. You'll see signs, postcards, flyers. There are just many ways to market solar. Phone calls. Oh my God. Those are the spam calls that you're getting, but you will get phone calls all day and all night, some people. And if you count them, the number of calls from people who want to talk to you about solar and to qualify you for solar, maybe 2 out of 4. That's just something you have to pay attention to. But when they call you or even knock on your door, their job is to qualify you. If they qualify you, meaning that they're gonna ask you, how old is your roof, how much is your electricity bill, Is your roof shaded? Meaning, do you have trees? Is the sun blocked in any kind of way? That's what we mean by shading. And if they pull it up on Google Maps, they'll be able to see that your house is a perfect candidate. It's a perfect slate. Your roof is perfect for solar. So they want you, and they'll tell you things like, you know, we'll swap out your utility bill for solar, or you will pay little to none. All of that may or may not be true, but you need to be equipped. Now, here's another big thing. You will see television ads. You will hear all sorts of ads on Facebook and different places, and they'll say something like, the government is giving away free solar panels. They may or may not use the word free, but they will say the government is giving away solar panels. And that's very interesting and intriguing to your ears. They will mention the Inflation Reduction Act that the government has put in place to help people with solar energy, and that covers a lot of things. It covers solar panels, it covers hot water heaters, it covers energy efficient windows, it covers anything that is energy efficient, but specifically solar panels, because now the government is giving a 30%. Right now it's 30% tax credit. So if you buy solar, okay, your system, let's say your system is um, $30,000, then your tax credit may be 6,000. Whatever 30% of that is, that's your credit. And the salespeople will have you believe that you are going to get that money in your hands, and you should take that money and pay down on your system. So, for the first 18, 16, or 18 months, your payment will be X amount. Then, when you get that tax credit, you will give that to the finance company to pay your bill down by that amount, and your bill payment will remain the same as it has always been. But what if, what if you don't get that payment in your hands? What if you don't get $6,000 cash money in your hands? Then you can't make, or you don't make, the $6,000 payments to the finance company to bring your bill down by that much, which will cause your regular payment to stay the same. If you don't get that money in your hands, then your bill is going to go up. Usually, during that sales proposal, they will tell you that, and they will show you what your payment is now, and they will reiterate that your payment will remain the same as long as you pay down that tax credit. But if you don't, your payment is going to go up. Okay, it's going to go up. Most people get how do you say, enticed by that. That's a reason to buy, because I'm going to get this tax credit. But believe me when I tell you that most people do not get that tax credit in their hand. What happens is, a credit is a credit. Just if you go to a grocery store, if you go shopping and something doesn't work out and you take it back, and they don't give you your money back, but they will give you a store credit. Now that you have a store credit, you can go shopping and you can use the amount of the credit against what you're buying. Okay. So if what you're buying is $3 more than the credit, then you have to pay $3. And that's how it works, a credit. So that means at the end of the year, when it's time for you to file your taxes, if you owe taxes, if you owe taxes, that tax credit will pay down your liability. So if you owe $2,000 and you have a tax credit for $6,000, then that tax credit, $2,000 of that will go to pay your taxes. Now, if you are a W-2 worker and you've paid in taxes, you may get some money back because you've been paying in. They take the money out of your check. You may get that back. But don't be fooled by the tax credit situation because you are not going to get it back. Okay? In most cases. So, what we tell you before you sign on that dotted line, call your tax preparer, a CPA, someone who knows about how this works, and kind of get them to help you understand what the tax credit is and how it works. Okay? So, we have said a whole lot tonight. If you're listening, if you have questions, you can put them in the chat right now or the comment box. I will read them and answer them here now. Again, my phone number is 214-497-7440. And we're here every Thursday night talking about solar energy. Just keep in mind that I am in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area, and I can travel to any place that I want to or that I'm invited to. Um, I am a sales organization, meaning that SolarLogix EDU, as we said, is a solar energy education company, which means that we are going to be around the area with pop-up classes for homeowners, on the spot. That's the main focus. But I also sell solar panels. So I'm an education company and a sales organization. Now, once I sell you a system, I partner with two installers, who are reputable. They work with integrity. They do good work, and I will stand behind it. I usually will maintain contact with you, the homeowner, until the job is complete. And I am available even thereafter should you need something. So we want you to understand that solar energy really, really, really is not difficult to understand. If someone takes their time and really, really present it, ABC, then you can get the concept and you can understand how it works. Thereby, you can realize if it is something good for you. Now, every home is not a good or perfect candidate for solar energy. And that's another thing. How would you really know that? Okay. So there are some people out here, they're just selling solar. They don't care if you have shading. They don't care if your roof is in good shape and will hold it. There are lots of different variables, but in general, solar energy should not be hard or difficult to understand. But what I will say to you is that there are a lot of moving parts, okay? Lots of moving parts. And that's what I want to bring to you is help you identify the moving parts and help you understand how to correctly interpret this information about solar, any information. Once we've spent enough time together, you'll be able to teach. You'll be able to teach your friends and family about solar, and you'll be on point because um, my objective is to give you the information in a way that you are able to regurgitate it. And when you hear something related to solar, you will know if it makes sense or not. You will know, did Robin say that? Did Robin say that I should do this that way? Um, you get the knock on the door. Robin said, I should ask for ID. Robin said, I should ask to see that permit when they come to install the solar on my home. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to get to that point to where you can tell when something is not right. So, what I am going to ask you to do for me is to hit subscribe and like um, on YouTube, and to like me on Facebook. I don't know all those different terms. I'm learning that. But more than that, I want you to tell people about me. Okay. And if you tell 10 people about the podcast, all about solar energy, and you call me at 214-497-7440 and just share with me that you did that you actually told someone about Robin Fafmi, Solar Logics EDU, and what she does is helps homeowners understand solar energy. Okay. And you let me know that you told 10 people, then I've got something special for you. Okay. So that's where we are. We are just about at our time limit here. We've been here just about an hour, and let me tell you, it has been my pleasure. I hope that you all can really sense my heart and that you can really understand my passion for solar energy and my passion for making sure that people like me and you really understand what's going on out here as it relates to energy. Because listen, you all are buying electric cars, you all are buying energy efficient home products, and life is changing, and we're moving towards this new way of living and being, which is going to revolve around producing your own energy for your home. And whether you want to or not, solar energy is coming to rooftops near you. It won't be long before probably every neighborhood in America will have some solar. Now, it may not be enough solar panels to offset the energy cost by 100%, but if it offsets it by 75 or 80%, that's a savings. That helps to lower your bill. And here in Texas, it helps to take the pressure off of this grid that we know may or may not hold up. But it's something to talk about. And I am going to continue my efforts to educate homeowners about solar energy, and also to get cities involved in understanding that there's some harm being done to our homeowners by, the limited regulations around solar energy when these people come to our neighborhoods to make these sales, and we get caught up in all sorts of things. But anyway, that's a story for next week. Thursday, 6:30 to 7:30. I will be here, and I hope you are too. Remember, if anybody out there listening wants to take me up on my gift offer, tell 10 people about me. Okay? And call me at 214-497-7440 and let me know that you did that, and we'll talk about the gift that I have waiting here for you. So that's going to do it for us tonight. And I hope that this year of 2024 brings you everything that you hope for and even more than you can imagine. We're on our way to a good start. Let us continue to pray and trust God and keep everything in proper perspective. And I bid you good night, and I will see you here next week. It has been my absolute pleasure, and I thank you. Bye. Hey, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. You had a great show.
Well, thank you so much. I'm getting better. I feel better.
Oh, I